Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Deanne Castro, Creative Memories Advisor in Bakersfield, California. And today I have a different type of a border to show you. It's really more, I think you might want to put it in the corners of your pages instead of down one side because it's kind of large. You can do smaller ones, which you can adapt once I show you kind of how to make it, and then you can use kind of whatever sizes you want. But okay, let's go over to the desktop and I'll show you what I've got. Where's my? There it is. Okay, so I need to take that banner off. There is my website. If you guys do not have a advisor that you work with right now, I would be happy to be your advisor. So here's my website. You can check it out, or you can get a hold of me at deannecmc2@yahoo.com. Hadn't anticipated showing that right away, but there it is. So, okay, here's what I've got. This is what I started with. These are some circles. And then these were the centers of these circles, okay? This circle was done with the circle maker, and I'll show you how to use this. This tool really is, once you get used to it, an amazing tool to use. It's super easy and it's really quick, okay? These, and that's what this one was made with too. These were made with the medium circle of the custom cutting system and the large circle of the custom cutting system with the red and the green blades. Okay, so and this is just this one, just cut apart. Okay, so it's the full thing, but it's just cut apart in pieces because I'm going to actually put these up in the corners. This one I didn't cut apart because I actually ended up making the middle with this paper, and so this one was just left over. What I did with these, because this was with the red and the green blade, this one was with the red and the green blade, is I put them together, I held them together with pieces of tape chips. And these are little squares. I need to get them out. They're little squares of double-sided tape. And it's nice to use these sometimes because then you have this paper still covering this side of the adhesive. And when you aren't going to put them on your page right away, you can just hold on to these, just save them. And then when you're ready to stick them to your page, you can just take the tape off of them. And then the other side of the adhesive is there. Okay, so this is what you start with. You do it twice. You end up getting 2 circles out of the center, and you make this banner type part with these circles. Now, you may have seen this before, but not quite this way. These are the circles that are cut out. These are actually cut into 8 pieces. The circles are 8 pieces. And this is just using 2 the same size circles with the same paper. This is just the back side of these. You may have seen this idea using the circle cut into 4 pieces, but I cut it into 8, which gives it more color, more kind of just a different pattern. This was made with this paper and this paper, and the 8 pieces cut out just gave it more color, more different dimension, different look. Okay. So the first one I'm going to show you how to do is this one because I really like it. It's really simple. It's really easy to do. And once you get used to it, okay, there's a little bit of a caveat there. Once you get used to it. So I'm going to put those out of the way. and I'm going to get this paper out. I'm using the Birthday Jubilee today. And this one was made out of a different paper pack that's no longer available. But I just loved the colors in it. So what you want to do is I'm going to show you where to put these. This knob loosens up, okay? And it allows you to move this bar up and down on here. This is the marker that will tell you what size circle you're going to be making. So you can make anywhere from a 3-inch circle up to a 12-inch circle. Now, these aren't quarter marks. So if you just kind of go to the middle of that little one, that one in the middle right there, that would be a 1/2 inch. But you don't really get an exact 1/2 inch mark in here. So you would move it up, like this is between the 6 and the 7. And now if I want to close it down, now I turn this knob to get it tight to keep it there. This is like 6.5. So you can see it's kind of right in the middle of that mark right there. It's kind of a glare on it. And it's not exactly in the middle, but you get the idea. Okay. Now, this is the blade. The blade is underneath here. And you have to push this button in to push down to get the blade to come out. If you don't push this button in, it won't let you push this down so the blade won't come out. So that's a safety thing. Okay. So you have to push this in, push down, and there you can see the blade come out. It's really little, but it's really sharp. Okay. So to start with this, to use this one, you will go to, and I just put 5.3 on here because it's not exactly 5.25, but it's probably a little bit more than that. And then 5.0, then move it down to 3.3 and 3.0. Okay, so I'm going to move it down to what I call the 5.3, which really, I don't know if it's a quarter or not, but here it is. So now I'm going to tighten this up. And that's where I put it, is right in between the second and third mark, like, or the first and the second mark after the 5. Okay, so you have the one number, you'll have 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks, and then the inch, the full inch. So I have it set right in between this first and the second mark there, down here at the 5. It'll make sense when you see it. So I'm going to set this here, and I'm going to make sure I have this marked here where the blade is actually cutting. Okay. So I'm going to set this here. I'm just going to kind of estimate. There's probably different ways to make sure that you got it to where it's not going to cut off the paper. But I'm just kind of estimating this is in the middle right here, because this is the center of where it's going to cut. This piece under here has this little point. It's a metal point. Don't really know what you call it, but that's the middle of where it's going to cut. So if I put this here, kind of gauge about the middle, and make sure that the blade is not going to go off the paper there. This should be pretty close. And yeah, I've got that. So you can pull it all around. Make sure it's not going to go off anywhere. Make sure there's nothing in the way of this arm. You hold this down, push in the white button here, and then press down and go all the way around. And just like that, you have a perfect circle cut all the way through. Okay, I'm not going to take this off yet because I don't want to lift this off yet. what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep pressure on this. I'm going to loosen this up and I'm going to slide this down to the 5, exactly on the 5. And I'm going to tighten this back up again. Okay, that's going to give me this little cut on the outside. And then I'm going to turn the paper over. So just like this, I'm going around. It's cut all the way through. Now I'm going to make this cut. I'm going to make the third cut right here, which is this piece right here. And then my last cut will be this piece here. Okay, so I'm going to loosen this up again. I'm going to slide it down to the middle of those next 2 marks at the number 3. And I'm going to tighten it back up again. Okay. All right, I'm going to go around. This gets a little harder when it gets smaller because then that white button gets really close to that knob. So it gets a little more difficult. Okay. Now I'm going to loosen this up for the last time. I'm going to pull this down to the 3, tighten it back up, and I'm going to go around again. So I'm going to push in that white button, pull that white button out from against that knob. And there I have it cut all the way through. Now I'm going to lift it off. Okay. And I have all my pieces cut. There's that piece. I have the middle one that I need. I'm going to turn this one over. I'm going to turn this one over. And then I will have all of these pieces. Isn't that easy? That was so simple, so easy, and it just didn't take me very long at all. Okay, now to use this circle, I'm going to take this to hold everything together, and I'm going to put some tape chips on these pieces. So I'm just going to take the tape chip, pull it off, and I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to stick it down on one end here. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Just so it's going to hold these pieces in place. Okay, I'm going to do that a few times because I am going to cut this in half. So I kind of want things to stay a little better together. And I'm going to loosen this up because this is not exact on here. Okay. I want this circle to not show through anywhere. So I'm going to adhere it down. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side. And I'm going to do that a couple more times. Because I'm going to cut this in half, I want, when I cut it, I want to have like, I'm going to turn this over and make sure. So since I'm going to want the balloons kind of like this going across, they're all going up on this, I'm going to make sure that right about here, I put more tape chips. So when I cut it, it'll cut through these tape chips. I'm hoping, theoretically, that's what I want it to do. So I'm going to put it on the side. Just like that. Okay. And now it's going to hold it together until I'm ready to do something else with it. Okay. Now I'm going to need a different color for this circle. So all I need for this, I don't need to cut another circle like this. All I need is the 3-inch circle on here. So I'm just going to put this on the paper. Make sure nothing's in the way. Go around and make sure I've got enough room. Hold this down and cut the circle. Okay, so there's my 2 circles. Now what I'm going to do is going to cut these into 8 pieces, which is a little time consuming. So if you put your circle up here, and I'm just gonna cut these together for the sake of time, and you've got it right up in these. Push the circle up right up in there. It will cut just about perfect. Perfect halfway down. Okay. Now I'm going to do this. And I'm going to fold this because it's a little difficult to catch the center of these. Just going to get that tip right there so I can see it. And then I'm going to put it on the trimmer. I'm going to pull out this to make sure it's right about where I have that fold. And then I'm going to cut these. Okay, so there I have actually 4 pieces of each of them. And if you want, you can stop there. And you can do it this way. Okay, like this. So it's a little less time consuming. And you're just going to alternate them back and forth like that. Okay? But I'm actually going to take these and I'm going to cut them one more time. I want 8 pieces instead of the 4. So now I'm going to cut this right here and I'm going to line it up. It's about 1 1/8 on each side. And then if I get this lined up on the cut line, get it cut right in the middle. That's a little off, but you'll get what I mean. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. You can cut them individually if you want. I just like, for the sake of time, to cut them, kind of stack them and cut them together. And they're all cut through. Okay, so I'm going to take the different colors and stack them up. So there's this one and there's this one. There's this one and this one. So you're going to need 4 of each color. There we go. Now, going to use a lot of tape chips here because we're going to cut these so that they'll stay together. So we're going to do this. We're going to take these two where the rounded edges are together, match it up, and put a tape chip on it. Okay. I'm going to take the other two and turn it. So the rounded edge is going to be on the opposite side. And that's how you're going to get that little swirl. Okay, line them up as close as you can. Make sure they're flush against each other. Okay, go back to the original colors. Flip-flop the circular side, the rounded edge. Okay, and we are going to continue with that. Until we are done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on pause. And when I get almost done, I'll come right back to you. Okay, now I'm just about done. I'm going to tape together the last piece here. Okay, now when we turn it over, we have all these really pretty colorful pieces all together. Isn't that fun? It's a little time consuming and you don't really need to cut them into 8 pieces. You can just cut them into 4 and do the same thing. Just alternate them back and forth. Okay. The last step is we're going to take this circle. Okay. Now you can leave it like that if you want, and you can just put it on a border of your page and add your photos around it. My last thing that I wanted to do was go ahead and cut this circle and show you how to put it on there. So I'm going to cut this in half. Now I want the balloons to be going up. Wait, like this. So I'm going to cut this sideways because I want the part of the circle that I'm going to be putting on the top to have the balloons going upwards. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. There again, I lined the top of the circle up between these 2 sections right here and cut it in half. Now, we can put this up here on top. Kind of slide it underneath. Line the edges up. Oh, that one's on the bottom. The balloons are upside down. Okay. This one on the top. And this one on the bottom. See how it kind of makes that S curve? And you can put it on your page that way if you like. It does kind of take up a lot of room. So what I did with my other one here, it looked just like this. Okay, like this. And I just cut it in half. 5 inches is about half. And so that's what I did with this. Okay, so I'm not going to do this again because I want to show you real quick how to cut it using just the regular custom cutting system. Okay, so push this out of the way for now. Hey, so what you want to do is take one of your papers and you want to cut the outside let's- first with the green blade, then with the red blade. Okay, so set your pattern to where you've got plenty of room on the outside for your green blade. Put the knobs in the outside groove right here, because all these blades, if you haven't seen them before, have little knobs like this. Make sure both the knobs are in the groove, or you're just going to end up scraping your paper. Same thing with your photos. If your knobs are not in the groove, you're going to end up scraping your photos if you're cutting them into circles or ovals. Okay. Don't take your hand off of this. Don't lift it up yet, because now you want to use the red blade. Okay, you go around with the red blade. And we're done. So what we have is a larger circle and the little bit of a piece that we're going to turn over like this for the circle. Okay, but now we still need to cut the middle out of it. That's where you're going to line the circle up somewhere on the mat where you can see that it's kind of centered. Okay, so see here, I've got the 6-inch line. I've got the 5-inch line coming down from the top. And then I've got the 11-inch or the 1-inch line and the 6-inch. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5-inch circle. So I've got it centered in this little big square, little big, that doesn't make sense, but this square right here. Now what I want to do is I want to take the big circle and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to center it the best that I can around that circle. Now my circle is going to be in the larger square. And if I've got all of the edges pretty much equal, then the center of this circle is going to be equal. Let's see if I can lift this up and show you without making a mess. Okay, so see, I've got this about a halfway down from that edge. You go over here, you come down, you have it in a little bit from this edge right here, which is about the same distance as it is from this edge over here. And then the same down here, it's a little close. So I need to move it up just a little bit so it'll match up here. And I'm eyeballing it. So if you found a way that you can measure it a little better than how I did it, that would be great. But I'm eyeballing it just to get the center out of there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the green blade, put those knobs in the groove, and go around and do the same thing with the red blade. And go around. And there I've got those cut all the way through. Okay, so we will turn this over like this. And we will turn this one over like this. And then this one that I had cut with the circle cutter is just about the same size. And I think that's the one I cut with the circle cutter. This one, sorry. This is the one I cut with a circle cutter. And you can see this one is just a little bit bigger, but it's pretty close. Let's move this out of the way and put this back on it. So the one with the circle cutter is just a hair bigger. Can you see that? The circle cutter is the red. The one that I used with the custom cutting circle patterns is this one here. So the circle cutter is just a hair bigger. than the one that I cut with a custom cutting system. So they're pretty equal. So that way you can use both. You can use the custom cutting system, or you can use the circle cutter, however you'd like. And now you can make different sizes. Now, unfortunately, with the circle cutter, this is the smallest you can get. But when you alternate these different circle patterns with even maybe the smaller one, then you can get maybe even a little bit smaller circle and see how that goes. Okay, then you would just need to cut out one more circle to cut for the rest of the border. I hope that makes sense. If this doesn't make sense, let me know. But there's the way to cut two of those. So okay, so putting this together for a page, here's like the base page. Okay, so we have this base page. Then we're going to take, let's see, where's my pieces that I cut for this? These, here they are. Now we're going to take these, and I'm just going to kind of put them up in the corner and put this one down in this corner. Now, if you were doing a 2-page spread, you could put this one in this corner, and then on the other page, put this one up here, or you can put them together, one here on the other page, or one here and down here on the other page, just however you want it to look. But I'm just going to show you with a 1 page for now. So here's this. Then you can add your photos. Now, you guys know that I've been telling you lately that it's super important to make sure you put your who, what, when, where on your pages, right? So you remember who was in the photo and where you were. So I actually cut a journaling box down just a little bit. This was out of the map pack. So here's my journaling. Here's another photo. It was a 4x6 that I trimmed down into an oval. And then down here is a 3.5 by 3.5 photo. So you can get several photos on this page and still have your decorations on it with the colors. Then you can add maybe a cupcake here. And where did I put the balloons? Okay, I've lost the balloons. Oh, here they are. You can put some balloons right here. Fill that in just a little bit. Or you can even add another cupcake down on here. But either way, there's your page with your photos. And I hope you like this idea. I know it's a little different. It's a little out there, but I just wanted to show you some different ways that you can use the circle cutters and the circle patterns and just make something really fun for your page. All right. Thank you for watching so much. And I will talk to you again next week. I hope you have a blessed week, and let me know what you think. And if you want to show me your rendition of it, go ahead and request, if you haven't done so already, to join my Facebook group, Let's Scrapbook with Deanne, and then you can make yours and post it on there as well. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I will talk to you next week. Bye.